Ladies and gentlemen, introducing from Bahasa Uptown, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, weighing in at 10 back suplexes, he is your fellow Uptown low guy, Cornelius. Thank you. Well, hello there, everyone. My name is Cornelius, professional wrestler turned Butler VTuber at your service. And welcome indeed to another episode of Real Wrestler Rapport. I think that's sort of what I'm going to call like any sort of episode where it's like, more conversational, more pro wrestling centric. This is a rapport between you, the viewers, and yours slowly, a real professional wrestler. And of course, welcome, Regina. Regina is a good friend of ours. She's a fellow VTuber. Let's see now. Where is it? I always dump it somewhere funny. Let me just show you, I suppose, my calling card, so to speak, a montage of me doing my thing. And my thing is wrestling, as you can see. Usually in the ring, sometimes not in the ring, usually in Malaysia, sometimes not in Malaysia. And sometimes there's explosions involved. Sadly. Can I be heard all right? Can I be seen all right? Let me know if there's any audio issues. Onegai. But, so yes, folks, today's episode is all about answering your questions. So if you see the pinned message in the chat, it says that question form, and that Google form will lead you to a question form where you can submit your questions. I already have a small list already of questions prepared, and I will go through it with you guys. We have a little talk about it, so I can clarify some stuff, because as some of you might know, pro wrestling can be pretty fun. And with all that fun, and with all the history, and with all the wackiness and insanity involved, you guys might have some questions, of which yours slowly is here to provide. However, I must give a couple disclaimers. So for one, I do not mind saying stuff that is behind the scenes, peeling back the curtain, as it were, just like my beautiful stinger here. Thank you very much for that talks, by the way. But just like any good magician, just like anyone who is dealing with, I suppose, sensitive information, so to speak, I won't reveal everything. And sometimes I might mess with your heads a little bit, just because it's fun for me. So does it mean does this mean I'm lying to you? No. Does this mean I'm messing with your heads? Yes. So it depends. I might look. If it's all in favor of giving you guys a good story, giving us some witty repartee, yeah, I'm gonna lean over to the witty repartee as opposed to revealing some boring, bland truth. The second thing, however, is that, well, to put it bluntly, I'm going to cover my ass. What do I mean? I'll put it this way. There's been quite a number of wrestling-adjacent content creators over the years now. Some of the bigger names are like, think Cultaholic, think Maven Huffman, Stevie Richards, the like. And they don't mind talking about the behind-the-scenes stuff at all. However, what differentiates between me and them, all those that I just mentioned, Cultaholic, Stevie Richards, Maven, is that they are either retired or they are more journalistic / paparazzi, depending on how you want to see it. I am an active professional wrestler. I'm wrestling next week. I am wrestling next week, folks. I am wrestling next week. Speaking of which, I need to actually like download an image, a specific image. So obviously I'm not like in any of the big leagues or anything like that. I'm primarily wrestling out of Malaysia, for Pete's sakes. However, that means that I am still an active wrestler. I'm still participating in this craft. I don't want to bloody burn bridges here, guys. Wait. Oh, okay. I have no intentions of burning bridges. So if you're here for me giving some spicy gossip, no. If you're here to hear me say something that is what's the word? That is very backstagey. That is something only pro wrestlers are meant to know, and no one else is supposed to know. Not meant for general public. Yeah, I'm not gonna reveal that either. I'm not doing that because I am still actively part of the scene, and I intend to respect my fellow professional wrestlers and people involved in the wrestling scene, which means the announcers, the commentators, the bookers, the promoters. Imagine pissing off the promoters, eh? Imagine saying something that will jeopardize future bookings for yours slowly. Why would I want that? You guys don't want that. So I intend to play a very, very fine line here. Okay, I welcome this challenge of playing this very, very fine line of giving you guys an interesting conversation about the goings on in wrestling and clarifying certain things, the nuances of it, without jeopardizing my bloody career in wrestling. I'm really, really blessed that I can still move pretty all right still, Okay, so before we get to that, okay, let me show this. Let me just do this very quickly. Hi there, Nomo. Don't worry. You are not. Just come back when you can. Okay, let me just show you this very quickly. So this, folks, we are 95% sold. Come on, folks. Come on. You can cheer for that. There you go, folks. My PW New Breed 3 is 95% sold. Technically, we were already sold out. But we decided to do a little bit of finagling, do a little bit of a moving magic, so to speak. Yeah. And we opened up a few more seats. As you can see, and mind you, this was that announcement that we were sold out, well, just a couple days ago. And now we are very close to being sold out again. So if you still want to get tickets, folks, now is the time. Like, actually now. In fact, so now I'm actually going to link the ticketing page once again. Just to be sure. There we go. All right. Okay. So, shall we get to the questions, folks? Shall we get to your questions? Let's see. Okay, got these right here. All right, let's get to it. Okay, and here we are, folks. Here we are. Do I want to adjust the size of this? No, I think this is okay. No, actually, no. I think it's best if I adjust the size. Actually, no. Let's get back to the chatting screen first. I need to adjust the size of this because it looks a little, because the font looks a little bit on the small side. I think I need to do a bit of adjusting. One moment, folks. How do I do this again? Was it this button? This button. No, not that button. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm in trouble. Maybe if I do this. Okay. That's a little bit too big. Well, don't worry, folks. I'm nearly there. Is that all right? I think this should be acceptable. This should be acceptable. Okay, dokes. All right, let's actually switch back. There we go. That's a little bit better. I need to shrink myself down a tad bit more. Ha! There we go. I pull out my trusty pointer, aka writing crop. No one needs to know that. No one needs to know that. All right, let's begin, shall we? All right. So, as you can see, we got 10 responses here. But if you guys want to ask more questions, please go ahead. Please go ahead. If you want to ask in the chat as well, that's also fine. Frankly speaking, that's also fine. All right, let's do this. So, first question is, and this person decided to be anonymous. How long into training does it take for your body to become more acclimated to taking bumps on a wrestling mat? Good question. So to those who aren't aware, one of our little secrets in professional wrestling is what we call taking a bump. So you know all those moves where the choke slam, the rock bottom, Renage, which is the same as a rock bottom, but who cares? Power bomb. What else? A back suplex. Oh gosh, the back suplex. All these, you're basically taken up into the air and you get squished. You get your back smashed on the ground. That's what we call taking a bump. And the secret to all that is doing it to yourself. You actually learn to smash your back onto the ground. Hopefully, it is a pro wrestling mat, pro wrestling ring that you are dropping down onto. And hopefully that's all there is to it. And that, believe it or not, folks, takes training. We actually we use the term attack the mat. Like we literally not even fall onto the mat. We actually smash throw ourselves onto the wrestling mat with our back. That's sort of like one of the big secrets of pro wrestling, that we actually train ourselves for that. Like there's techniques to this. There's actually a technique to it, all that. It's crazy. Like when I first learned about it, I was like gobsmacked. That's the secret? That's how you guys did it? Wait, this is how we're training it? Oh my god, how are we gonna survive? Man, I'll get to my own personal story on how I took bumps eventually, but my god, that was a journey. So, how long into training does it take for your body to become more acclimated to taking a bump? I mean, the easy answer for me to give, the lazy answer is it depends. It depends. If I were to give something with a little more nuance, something a little more tangible, let's say if you're someone not with a healthy body, you've done a little bit of sports before. You're like athletic, but I'm not suggesting that you have to be like an all-star or a national level athlete. Someone who actually has done sports before, or really trains in the gym. Again, it really depends. Like to give like a really proper bump onto the ring where it's clean, where it's smooth, where you're actually hitting with proper velocity. It could be anything from. It could be saying a few weeks feels very disingenuous. No, couple. If you're really putting in the effort for it, I would say a couple months. If you're training like a couple times a week, it is still going to be a couple months. A few months, I think would be fair. If you're training like a couple times a week, and you are really very diligent in your training, you could get there within a couple months. Because heaven forbid you overtrain this. God, there's actually such a thing as a bump cut. You do not want to overtrain this. You do not want to overtrain a bump. Because remember, you're throwing your back onto, even though it's a padded surface, it's still a surface where you can still walk on relatively flat. It's not like it's no trampoline. Okay? Does it look like we're bouncing on the mat? No. No. Does it look like it's like concrete either? Of course not. It's right in between. And because it's right in between, it's still fairly firm. You can still get hurt, absolutely hurt, from doing this. Like I've seen some trainees. They do the bum drill a little bit to get to it, and they're still shocked by it. They're legit freaked out by it, and rightfully so. This is one of the most unnatural things you could ever do to the human body. My bad. No. I just realized I'm not on full screen. Shoot. Not that it's a bad thing, but like I you know me, I'm very, very particular on these things. My bad. I don't think you guys saw anything untoward, but you know me, I try to be careful on these things. So yeah, it takes a while. And some folks take longer than others. You wanna know how long it took me before I did a proper back bump? A year. It took me about a year before I could give a proper back bump. Before that, oh my god, even just getting off of my feet was such a bloody nightmare. Such a bloody nightmare. Took me forever. Such a bloody nightmare. I was so like scared. I was so freaked out. Now I'll be very frank. If I was in any other wrestling academy besides my PWs, like let's say if I was doing something in the much more cutthroat environment of, let's say, Australia or North America, I actually wonder if I will be even allowed to continue on at all as a trainee, because it took me so long to get to it. Like it's scary. It is genuinely scary to take that bump, because your eyes are going in a way that it has never gone before. Your body is taking an impact that it's never felt before. Like it's terrible, but it is a necessary part of the business to do what we do. And luckily for most folks, they can get to it a lot faster than me. Thank goodness. Yeah. So these days in my PW, we're definitely a lot smarter about how we train this and stuff. We know like the better ways to go about it. But even then, sucks. Yeah. It's probably one of the toughest things about this business, and rightfully so. Like if you can't get through bum training, you don't get through pro wrestling training in general, you know. So to be more acclimated to it, then maybe like a half a year, maybe a full year before your body actually gets used to bumping, where you like do it, like to do it by instinct as opposed to like, you know, gearing up for it, counting down to it, to do it like if the coach says take a bump now, boom, you know. Can you do that? I can now, but that's from years of training. So I'm willing to do that in a heartbeat. So it takes a while. It takes a while for the body and the mind to be acclimated. People forget the mental part. People forget the mental part of this. It's crazy. Hope that answers that question for you. All right, next up. Let's see now. How common are miscommunications during matches, and how do you normally recover from those without letting it slip to the audience? I'll answer this in two ways. So miscommunications, I mean, it's a pretty chaotic environment, isn't it now? We got the rowdy fans, the only person that's technically looking out for you is the referee, and sometimes the referee gets knocked out in the match. Sometimes, I'm not saying all the time. It's starting to be more common these days. I gotta admit. So let's say usually communications implies that like I'm working together with someone. So I think you're implying like a tag match. Yeah, because you're committing with your partner and stuff. And sometimes, look, tag matches are great. Tag matches are actually like a joy to be because you get to work with someone else. But sometimes, oh my god, sometimes you try to do something together, but then sometimes you try to like do a tag move together. Like let's say a double flapjack. And what happens? He goes one way and you go another. Then suddenly you're like split legging and it's an awkward fall. Like it's weird. Or you try to hold someone by their arms and give your tag partner a clean swing at him, and suddenly your opponent ducks and you take a slug, a big punch to the face from your tag partner. So yeah, sometimes these things happen. So it's a very chaotic environment. Sometimes your tag partner hits you, you hit your tag partner, you argue with your tag partner, you get rolled up, and your tag partner may or may not stop you depending on how they feel on the match. It's insane. It's insane. Then you brawl with your tag partner. I'm starting to sound like I've been like at odds with my tag partners, which I have not. I've been working well with my tag partners. You can't accuse me of being unprofessional with my tag partners. Okay? Things happen. Tensions run high. Your feelings are running awry. So yeah. So, and therefore, as a result, usually we have to, once, whether we win or lose, ideally, we should hash it out with our tag partner. Talk it out, regroup, maybe like rewatch the tape, depending on how short our egos are, and see what went wrong and talk it out. That sort of thing. Now, another way to answer this. See what I just did there? I've been at this for years, guys. You think you can get it past me? I've made this an art form. Thank you. So, it depends. Actually, I would say the main differentiator, the main distinguishing factor is your skill level. How your experience, essentially. The very tippity tops. Miscommunication is minimal, but it does happen. Things you want to go one way and they don't go another, and they went another. Like when I say that the tippy top, even those that are at the very who have been in like major promotions, I've seen it too. There's just one example where like, oh gods, I can't believe that just happened. Stuff like that. Stuff that I didn't think would happen. Well, I would see on a major event, but it does happen. These things do happen. But here's the thing. When you're at that level, there are ways to recover from this. The guys at the top of the food chain, they know how to salvage the situation. They know how to fix it, and sometimes in a way where you have no idea if something went wrong or not. You have no idea. Like one really famous example I can give you is there's this match between this is a pretty old match too. Jushin Thunder Liger and the Great Sasuke. These are legends in the business, in the Japanese wrestling scene. These are two extremely athletic and skilled wrestlers. I believe Great Sasuke, he tried to do some high-flying, fantastic move, and he landed on his face, essentially. Like, he just ate the wrestling mat hard. What did Jushin Thunder Liger do? He laughed at him. He laughed at him, pointed at him, and then he tried to approach Sasuke, and he got rolled up as a result. He got rolled up. Like, in hindsight, in great hindsight, Sasuke probably messed up there. But if you just were watching the match, honestly speaking, it looked like that botch could have been like done intentionally, and then Liger was playing it off, like mocking the great Sasuke that he didn't look so great at that time. So, there's many ways to roll with it, adapt to it, muscle through it even. All sorts of ways. And obviously when you're just starting out, when you're new to this, your ability to adapt, your ability to be malleable, it's a lot less, let me tell you. I remember there was this one match that I was involved in. I'm not going to say which one. My opponent actually was a similar case to Sasuke and Liger. He tried to do a flying move, landed on his face. What did I do? I grabbed him and insulted him, essentially. Was I supposed to take that move at all? I don't think so. Actually. Yeah. Oh, was I? Yeah. I don't think so. So that made things a little easier. A little easier. I should have done some vocal warm-ups. Before I started the stream. Would have made things easier. So I would say, when you're first starting off, miscommunications do happen more often. But even then, every wrestler, even at their debut, by rightfully, should be taught how to recover from it, how to adapt from it, how to move on from it, follow up on it, that sort of thing. So you will be surprised at the number of things that doesn't go exactly the way we want it, and you, the audience, would have no clue. I can almost guarantee in most matches, the final product that you see won't go 100% to plan. Won't go 100% to plan as what the wrestlers would have envisioned, would have meticulously planned out, if at all. And you would be none the wiser, because we are trained to hide these things, to recover from it. Things you think. In fact, sometimes the things that you think are miscommunication, no, that is exactly what we want. You'll be surprised at how often the audience, the viewers, get it wrong, actually. Hope that answers your question. Let me just check something very quickly. All right. Remember, folks, if you wish to ask any questions, you may submit more in the submission form. You can ask it in the chat itself. I honestly don't mind. We're a little more loosey-goosey for tonight here in the Real Wrestler Rapport. All right, folks. All right. Let me just double check on a couple things very, very quickly. Okay. Yeah, let's keep this going. Okay, Captain Eden Jackson. And he asks, what's the most dangerous looking but actually safest move you've ever taken or given, and vice versa. Ooh, kind of revealing, isn't it, this one? Let's see. Dangerous. Oh. Dangerous looking, but safest. Taken, given, and vice versa. Okay. Let's categorize this a little bit. Okay, most dangerous looking, but actually safest move that I've taken. That I've taken. That's a good one. Yeah, no, that one was pretty nasty. No, that's pretty nasty too. Dangerous but safest. Ooh, man, it's all starting to blur in my head. The number of matches I've had over the years. No, that one was freaking nasty too. That one was shockingly nasty. Dangerous but safest. That move actually. That's the one that comes to mind. Can you see? I have such a long ass list in my head, man. I have such a long ass list in my head. No. Always wanted to take that, but no. You know what? No. I was thinking of one, but then I think that's the one. Okay. It's actually something you guys have seen many times on my channel. It's something in the montage that you saw in the beginning of the stream. It's the table. It's when I went through the table. I'm not going to give away exactly how we did it, but going through that table in that match in Singapore. This was by the Butcher Man too. He did his he calls the move the meat splatter. So it's to those that might know it, you might know it as Wade Barrett's a wasteland move, but Butcher Man adds his own little flair to it. And he smashed me through a table with that move. I was a little bit worried initially, but to everyone's surprise, it was pretty darn safe. It was dramatic, don't get me wrong. Like, that table exploded. But because it exploded, I was fine. Like, there wasn't even anything poking at me, actually. All things said and done. Kind of shocked. I was sort of expecting something to poke at me. A little scratch here and there from the table. If there was, I definitely didn't feel it. In fact, there were other things in that crazy triple threat match in Singapore that was far more painful. Oh, God, you have no idea. So yeah, going through that table was probably it's probably the nastiest but safest looking things I've ever done. It's crazy. The things that hurts and doesn't hurt in this business. Is that crazy? Okay. Let's see. What's the most dangerous looking but actually safest move that I've given? Dangerous looking move that dangerous but safest move that I've given. No, actually, it really has to be no dangerous looking. I was gonna say my submissions, but a lot of them are pretty okay. What move do I want to sacrifice to the world, so to speak? That will make it lose its luster, so to speak. Yeah, if at all. Safest move. I'll tell you what. I think for me, it's gotta be my vaulting stomp, maybe. My vaulting stomp. You guys know the one, right? It's the one where I'm sort of outside on the apron and I vault in and the person is like on all fours and I stomp their neck and I smash them. Yeah, that. Like people gasp over that move because it literally looks like I've smashed their face in, because I am literally jumping over the rope, the top rope, and like putting my foot down on them. You know, it's like if you ever seen like Seth Rollins' a stomp move, it's kind of like that, but I'm literally vaulting over the ropes to do that. You know, so it's nasty. It's nasty to the point where like where actually someone very higher up than me I've actually said, yo, why are you doing it at this stage of the match? Should be saving it up. This is a much more climactic move, which is kind of weird to hear because I've been doing this move in the earlier stages of my matches, like my entire life, my entire wrestling life, and only very, very recently have I been told, no, save it for the climax of the story, man. Like, really? Okay. Oh yeah. So yeah, that move is nasty looking, but I do it in a way where my opponent is like, that's for like, I take a lot of pride in being a safe worker, where if someone is wrestling me, look, I'm not the fastest or strongest or most exciting wrestler. I'm not afraid to admit that, but at least my opponents can always trust that it will be a relatively safe night for them. Like if they're wrestling me, they will at least know, oh, it's low. It's not to say we can't have a good match, but oh yeah, I will be fine with him because I really control how I do things. And my vaulting stopper is a great example of that, where the effect is there. The audience will gasp. But for the opponent, easy night for them, baby. Easy night. And on the flip side, what's the most dangerous but actually safest move? I've taken. Wait. No, the word vice versa is sort of tripping me up a little bit. What's the most dangerous looking but actually safest move? I've taken. Oh wait, no. Alright, I'm tripping myself up. Am I confusing myself here? I think I'm confusing myself here. Too many concussions. Oh yes. So most dangerous but safest move. Oh, okay. I just realized how I should look at it now. What's the safest looking but actually most dangerous move I've taken and given? The safest but most dangerous. Safest but most dangerous. Safest looking but most dangerous. Oh, that's a good one. Safest but most dangerous that I've taken. Oh, okay. This is a very weird one. There's no match footage of this at all. It's sort of lost into the wind. Believe it or not, the one time I actually felt kind of dizzy from a match where I actually like felt kind of woozy. In fact, it didn't even happen in the match. It happened after the match. It was a slap. I was slapped in a post-match thing. And I literally felt like I was gonna faint. Safest looking yet most dangerous move is peak with Regina! Reggie! Reggie, don't use my chat to this is not a this is not a dating platform, Regina, okay? You can't throw these sort of one-liners around, okay? Alright, go to does Tinder do open chat rooms where you can flirt? I don't know. Wait, are you flirting with me? Moving on. Yeah, a slap. A slap is very painful. Especially if you don't know how to do it right. Mind you, this was like a big paintbrush to the face. Well, more like a big paint roller across my cheek. That's what it was. That's what that particular slap was at the time. So I definitely felt like, whoa, like, yeah. I got, yeah. It was that. Yeah, that was pretty darn hard. That was pretty darn hard. Yeah. So you'd be surprised by the things that will actually like, so you'd be surprised how often a slap has actually done a good bit of damage to you. There's ways where it can be done like perfectly fine. I've taken other slaps before over the years, and it was perfectly fine. But that particular one, this happened very early on in my career. Oh jeez, yeah. Did it hurt a lot? A little bit, but like to the point where I could like still like I wasn't like in agony. But I definitely felt like I was like, ooh, dizzy. Health insurance must see you as a nightmare over all your concussions. Haha. What do you mean? Health insurance? What's that? What's health insurance? Insurance, I know. Health, yes, but put these two words together. Something's not computing. Yeah, something's not computing. I don't understand. I don't understand. Yeah. And then what's the safest but most dangerous move I've given? Huh. Safest looking but most dangerous move. No, it's probably the one where you knocked off Ref Ryan. I knocked out Ref Ryan? Oh, that one. Oh, yeah. Actually, no, you're actually kind of right, actually. I was thinking of one move, but no, this move is actually you are sort of right there. Regina, I believe you're referring to my straight jacket DDT. It's my finishing move. I don't get busted out a lot. But yeah, so it's the one where I hold both their arms, tuck their head underneath my armpit, and then smash their head on the ground. It's like a DDT, but with a regular DDT. It's those who are unaware. A DDT is where you hold someone, you wrap your arms around someone's head, you drive backwards, and your head smashes on the ground. So my version is I'm holding both their arms, tucking my opponent's head underneath one side of my arm, and then driving it. So the chances of them to brace and catch the DT with their arms, that goes away. So they're literally diving head first onto the ground. Yeah, that can carry some risks. There was definitely one time where I've definitely pissed off someone because I didn't get my technique right. Like, if all things go well, I can do this move, no issue. But there is a little bit of a risk where, yes, it looks very safe, but if I do this alright, oh yeah, they can be hospitalized from it. I gotta be very responsible with this move. It's a move that I cannot afford to be lackadaisical about, so to speak. Yeah. But yeah, that about covers it. Yep. Okay. So yeah. So there's definitely a lot of nuances to these sort of things. You think this move looks like it hurts, but actually it's an easy night for them. Then there's some moves where you think it's an easy night for them. No. All right, let's move on. All right, Mr. King Beast, you asked, do other wrestlers rip your mask while wrestling in the ring? Simple answer is no, because I'm usually ripping off their face while I'm wrestling them in the ring. So there's a few different reasons for this. Why no one's really going after my mask, actually. Number one, usually, again, I am the aggressor. I'm the one putting them in the painful holes. I'm the one driving my elbow into their face. I don't give people a chance to rip off my mask. They're too busy trying to freaking survive my onslaught, so to speak. Or another way to see it, I guess, is that they are trying to win as opposed to trying to rip off my mask, because there is a difference. However, another big reason why wrestlers don't do this is that this is seen as very, very taboo. This is seen as one of the most unsportsmanlike thing in professional wrestling. It's kind of like the thing with touching gloves and then going for a sucker punch right after in a boxing match or kickboxing or MMA fight. You touch gloves, you back off, as opposed to touch gloves or even not or attempting to touch gloves and then go immediately for a sucker punch. Like, that's seen as very unsportsmanlike, right? Okay? Like, it's within your rights, but it's very frowned upon. This is even worse than that. Why? Well, essentially, for almost every wrestler that wears a mask, this is the identity. More than the boots that they strap on, more than the tights that they wear. The mask is their face, is their logo, is their whole essence that is wrapped up in cloth and tied up nice and snug. It is seen as your symbol. And if someone wants to get immediately booed, very simple solution is to go for the mask. But do you really want that for yourself? Do you really want to see your favorites go for the mask? You know? So it is seen in very, very, very poor taste. If you want to be booed, yeah, go for it. Go for it. But like, you know, is that your part to play at all? You know? Think of it that way. Respect the mask. No touchy. Yes, indeed. I gotta say though, it doesn't help that these days, there was a period of time where it feels like almost every week there'll be at least one major wrestling show, doesn't matter if it's WWE, AEW, NJPW, where a mask is getting ripped. There was a time where this was happening on a weekly basis. You know, and it got to the point where like, oh, okay, why are we constantly seeing this? Why are we constantly seeing this? It's starting to get old hat. And because it's an easy way to get the boos, it's an easy way to get the jeers. So by right, this is not supposed to be like, it is almost like you're trying to rip off someone's pants. Except it's humiliating in a different way than ripping someone's pants, you know? Would you rip someone's pants? It's like I'm wearing the booty shorts over my head. But you're ripping off my face booty shorts in a way. And I know I'm explaining this in a very, very strange way, but yeah. You wouldn't rip off someone's article of clothing, right? So why would you rip off the one that's wrapping your face, you know? What if I'm ugly? What if I'm trying to hide how ugly I am? I don't want to see my own face. Why do you want to see my ugly face, huh? What do you want to see my ugly face for? Damn it, I'm trying to give the world a gift here. I'm trying to give the world the gift of not looking at my face. Hence all this. So even digitally, I'm giving you guys a gift to the world by presenting my mask as opposed to my face. Because I'm ugly. Yeah. Do you guys a favor. You're welcome. However, there is a time and place to actually rip off a mask. In lucha libre, for instance, in Mexican wrestling. Yo, Jams, welcome to Cafe Cornelius. We're not ready for Cornelius Chan's face. Firstly, you call me Chan you call me Cornelius Chan one more time. I will put you through my finishing move. And secondly, no one's ready for my face. I'm not ready for my face. You think I sleep with my face exposed? If there is going to be a Pontianak, a ghostly spectral womanly figure that will float through my balcony doors and wants to rip off some part of my body, she will see my mask first and be very, very confused. Yeah. The mask stays on. Thank you. So in lucha libre, like, mind you, even in like Japanese and Western wrestling, the mask is respected. But in lucha libre, no, that's the whole shebang. That is the whole shebang. To the point where the most important matches in lucha libre is what we call luchas de apuestas. So that means, like, think mask versus mask, mask versus hair versus hair is a thing too. To the point where, like, the winner of the match, you get to take someone's mask off. Like, that's how revered and important it is. I know there are shampoo dispensers in the mask that is 24/7 clean. Wait, I'm hiding a shampoo dispenser in here? What the heck? Don't reveal all my secrets. How dare you? Like the guy in WWE. Which guy in WWE? I'm confused, Regina. Wait, what do you mean, Regina? Mask is sacred and Cornelius is shy. Don't mind him. Hey, I'm not shy. I'm just protective of my mask. Thank you. So no, no wrestler has ever done that before. Rey Mysterio, the mask wrestler. Yeah. So yes, people have gone for Rey Mysterio's mask. Here's one other thing. Masks are freaking expensive. And I'll leave it at that. So yeah, no one has ever tried to rip my mask up before, just because that's not the right play to make. Not the right play to make at all. Will there ever come a time where that might be the right play to make? Maybe. But now is not the time. Yes, it is my mask indeed, Regina. It is my mask indeed. All right, next question. What wrestlers inspired you the most in your character and your style in the ring? Great question. Yeah, how do I want to answer this? Oh, how much is my... Oh, that's what you meant. How much? Mr. Nelius. Mr. Nelius. I like that. Mr. Nelius Low. Mr. Nelius Low. Yeah, sort of rolls off the tongue a little bit. A little bit of a mouthful, but in a good way. A lot. And that's all I'm gonna say. Especially because It's not commonly made where we are at all. And if you heard me say that right, not commonly made where I am at all, but there are avenues for it now. Surprisingly enough, there is one or two people that actually makes it within our region, actually in my region, shockingly enough. So we're getting there. We're actually getting there. It's actually really, really exciting, you know. So if you've ever seen what I like to call my auxiliary mask, so the one that you see me wrestle all the time is the one that resembles this one here, the one with what I like to call the beak here. It has the beak here, right? There's none of that I wear. You'll see me if IRL sometimes I'll wear it, where like it doesn't have the beak, you know, it doesn't look so intricately made. But that's still a proper wrestling mask. That's actually made in by a guy in Vietnam, actually. Shockingly enough. So that's pretty darn neat, actually. There's that option there, actually. You know, there's an option there. That's pretty exciting. So what wrestlers inspired me the most in my character and style? A few come to mind. Okay. So the wrestler that inspired my character. So character and style. So okay. This might surprise some folks. Do you guys know who Mankind is? Mankind? You know, Mr. Socko. The guy who got thrown from the top of the Hell in the Cell. That guy. Believe it or not, he's actually the one that inspired Cornelius the most. Obviously not a direct inspiration. I'm definitely not copying from him. But the idea of wearing the mask, the idea of this more sullen, somber character. Isn't that the dude who kept getting stuck with thumbtacks? He doesn't get stuck with thumbtacks that often, I think. But yeah. He sometimes gets stuck with thumbtacks. Sometimes he just takes it to the chair. Sometimes he just gets thrown out of the ring and he just lands on the table. No. Not always thumbtacks. Sometimes it's barbed wire. Welcome back, Nomu. Welcome back. I thought you were inspired by Butler anime characters like Sebastian. You would think that. It seems like like that would be the case, but not really. No, not really. Actually, genuinely. Like, it's only very recently that the whole Butler thing started, actually. And yes, folks, if you can, show your support to Cafe Cornelius, that'd be much appreciated. If you want to support myself directly, you may do so via the stream elements link in the description down below. So how in the world is the Mankind inspired this whole uptown low life shit that I've got going on? That was the last thing I thought when I first found you. Thinking you were inspired by anime butlers. Really? You guys thought I was inspired by anime butlers? Call me crazy, but like, since when did anime butlers like wear booty shorts? You're welcome, by the way. Are there any anime butlers that wear booty shorts willy-nilly? Huh. Are there? If my memory serves me right, he puts his body in line. No, that I don't doubt. That is for certain. So, how so, Mankind? How in the world? Well, for one, simply put, he's someone that everyone thinks of. Like, obviously, he is very much a hardcore centric guy, but he's also very well known for his character work as well. Like, there was a time where his promos were revolutionary. Like, if you go back to the time when he first debuted, he had these promos with Jim Ross. It's that series of interviews. It was incredible because he transformed from Mick Foley to Mankind, and it was incredible. It was so strange to see this huge dude like talking this very strange way. He's so self-tortured. YouTube ate my comment. I'm not sure what comment you wrote. Denomu. He's someone with a lot of like self-conflict, with a lot of internal turmoil. I said I could draw anime men in shorts. Well, there you go. Yeah, you just wrote it. And also it helps that he also wears a mask as well, you know. Oh, and I don't know how obvious this is, but like, that like he wrestles in a white shirt. I enter in a white shirt, and I sometimes wrestle with my shirt on as well, you know. So there's that. So he was someone that because like if you think about it, a lot of wrestlers, you know, they are their own biggest hype man. You know, a lot of wrestlers want to put on a big fat show. They want to look all muscly. They want to have loud colors. They look wild and fun. Mankind looked like a ragged beast. He looked like this weird creature thing. And that's sort of what I was actually. Remember, uptown, low life. I am from the uptown, but I think of myself as a low life. So I sort of like was looking at like dichotomy a lot. I mean, think of Mankind. He calls himself Mankind, but he looks like some weird creature out of your nightmares. You know? So it's kind of like that. So yeah, a lot of people do not realize that a lot of what I do was very Mankind inspired indeed. Have I ever thought of wearing a sock on my head and shoving it down someone's throat? Absolutely. Absolutely. Will that time ever come? We'll see. I am Mankind, Sister Monster crawling out of your bed trying to blend in. That is exactly what Mankind the Wrestler was. A lot of people have actually forgotten that Mankind started off as a heel, actually. Like he was actually, before he wore the white shirt and tie. Get it? See? White shirt and tie. No. Shirt, vest, and tie. See? He actually wore this like weird brown boiler suit jumpsuit kind of a thing, you know? That's what he was initially. He didn't even have Mr. Soccer with him at the time. It was literally the mandible claw. He literally shoved his raw bare fingers into someone's throat. Mankind, kind man, man of kind, man of mankind. Indeed. He is the manliest of the mankinds. He is the kindest of all men. He is the most mankind of all mankind. He mankinded indeed. Yeah. And to this day, that kind of is still my inspiration. Where I am this uptown dude with a lot of baggage in him. A lot of emotional baggage. Spiritual baggage for the matter. As for style, well, definitely not Mankind. That's for sure. You know, I'm not hitting people with thumbtack bats at all. I do sometimes bite people. No, that is a slight ode to Mankind, but I'm not shoving my fingers down anyone's throat yet. We'll see if I have the results of that one day. We'll see. But as for style, everyone knows I'm a big lover of submission wrestling, technical wrestling. I'll give two in mind. Number one, first and foremost, this is the one that actually really inspired my style a lot. He's not too well known, even though he's still quite active in WWE right now, actually. That's the bruiserweight, Pete Dunne. The bruiserweight Pete Dunne. He is a guy that's actually not too much bigger than me. But my God, is he a technical beast. He will tie you up in all sorts of ways. He will bend your fingers. Has he bitten people before? I'm pretty sure he has. And he will clobber you something hard. He is not the biggest dude, but he will throw you around. I don't really throw people around. But he's one of those dudes that really makes do. Really, really makes do. And he is also quite low-key pretty agile, actually. So we're both one of those guys that, like, we both can move pretty decently around the ring, but that's not our main calling card. We do it when necessary, as opposed to constantly spamming out high flying stuff all the time. So he likes to throw a good. So I really developed throwing a good forearm, looking at what Pete Dunne does. A lot of his submission stuff, I really have analyzed what he does a lot. He favors, like, he's very British technical wrestling centric, but in a much more rough and tumble sort of a way. Where he'll grind at you, he'll bend your limbs in all sorts of ways, whether it's small limbs, whether it's the major limbs, whatever not. Same with me. No. So he's a much grimier sort of a technical wrestling, which I enjoy. I don't know why, but I'm planning to see you do a poison mist in the future, be part of your moveset. Funny you should mention that. Because the second person that I was about to mention that really informed my how I wrestle is actually Tajiri. He's someone that for a lot of us, we watched him actually in the Attitude Era. You know, so seeing that this Asian dude who's a lot bigger than he seems. You know, I met him in person before. He's a lot bigger than he seems. You know, do all those like incredible kicks. Like, even though he can do fancy stuff, it comes off a little more practical as well, right? So that's something I like. I like wrestling that there's a bit of flair to it, but ultimately it's practical. Like, yes, the handspring back elbow thing is pretty fancy, but it's not like this the most complex thing, you know? And his kicks, oh baby, those kicks, you know? He's one of those guys that's very striking centric. And look, as a smaller person with more than a few medical issues. I love that he emphasized so much on his kicks and strikes. That really informed how I wrestle. Yeah, at least just a little bit. Oh, he got the Jin Kazama pants. Pretty sure he started wrestling before Jin Kazama was ever a thing, before Tekken was ever a thing, actually. Man, that's how long-lived he is. Tajiri is crazy. He is past 50 now, and he's still wrestling. Do you know where he's wrestling pretty soon? I think it's this weekend. He is wrestling in South Korea this weekend. Wrestling in a sold-out Korean indoor arena in South Korea. It's crazy. The promotion is called PWS, Pro Wrestling Society. It's one of the few pro wrestling promotions in South Korea, and they sold out 3,000 tickets. It is a sold out 3,000 arena in South Korea, and Tajiri is part of it. So he'll be bringing his Jin Kazama pants and kicking it off there for sure. But that's crazy. As to whether I want to do the poison mist, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be considered, like, quote unquote worthy for that. Man, that's cool. It is. It's crazy. Like, that's actually, I hats off to Shiho, who's like the main organizer for this event. Someone that I know fairly well. Her name's Alexis Lee from Singapore Pro Wrestling. She'll be wrestling as part of this 3K event. It's a major milestone in Asian wrestling, in non-Japanese wrestling. Okay, ultimately it's Japan through and through, through and through. But for a non-Japanese country to do 3,000 is insane, utterly insane. I cooked an idea of your Miss Be gold/yellow looking at your flower design first. Pollen mist. You want me to spit pee? You want me to spit pee? You want me to spit pee? Why? Why? I don't want to spit pee. I don't want to go and shower my opponents. No, I don't want to go and shower my enemies. I would never wish that. I prefer the word spray. I would never want to spray my opponents a golden shower. I'm not that kind of a wrestler. I don't want to be that kind of a wrestler. No, Regina, stop it. Stop it. We are not calling it the golden shower. We are not calling it a golden shower. No, you stop. Bad, Queenie. Bad. Bad, Queenie. Golden shower. If you're going to spit something out, yellow and green is the worst options. Yes, I spanked you. You deserve it for being nasty. Nasty. Cornelius perfume line when? I don't know, actually. I don't know. I'm not a big cologne guy. I'm not a big perfume guy. Yeah. So no, there's a reason why you almost never see yellow mist. Ew, yellow mist. Ew. Apparently there's actually different effects on the colors actually. So green is pretty common. Green is blinding. Red is pain. I think black you just get knocked out. I don't know. I can't recall on the other colors. I can almost guarantee there's no such thing as yellow mist. Because that resembles a bloody golden shower, doesn't it now? Cornelius should wrestle in my area. After your match, I beat you. No. No. Regina, I will warn the Filipino production crew. I will warn the Filipino production crew that if a girl in a red dress holding a cleaver even comes close to the ring, whether I win or lose, they are to jump on you, dogpile you, because I won't let you near me because you have a cleaver. Oh God! Imagine if I'm wrestling against Butcherman in the Philippines. Oh God, you two will be besties. No, that will be the what. I will never let that match happen in Manila. Butcherman will never, ever be allowed to wrestle me in Manila. You can send all the messages you want to DexCon, to Puso Wrestling, to FPW. You can message him all you like, tag him on Twitter, whatever not. Get a whole campaign going. I will never, ever wrestle the Butcher Man in Manila because of you, Regina, because of you. Ha! Ha! But yes, do clip me, folks. Do clip me. And if you wish to clip me, besides and then tag me on social media, you may use the hashtag Cornelius. Alternatively, if you can also send your clips to my Discord server, which is provided in the description down below, and you can see the and there will be a clips channel just for that. So yeah. So for wrestling, so for in-ring style, Pete Dunne Tajiri, for character work, to this day, still Mankind. Oh, and El Desperado, but I think that's too obvious. To see Cornelius live in my turf, I'm in the process for it. Don't you worry. I have always dreamed of going back to Manila to wrestle, because you guys to this day still one of the best audiences I've ever wrestled in front of, and it will be an honor to go back there. I'm making it work, guys. Don't worry. Okay, next up. How to make missiles with paper tutorial. Nomo, please. Let's try to keep to the topic at hand. Let's try not to talk about stuff that's not related to the stream. Thank you. Okay, how much time you're trading for joint wrestling, and how this motive and make you happy and no fear. I'm gonna read this again. How much time you're trading for joint wrestling, and how this motive and makes you happy and no fear. If you mean how much time you need to train in order to actually wrestle in a match, to debut in a match at least, this really depends. So for some folks, it could take up to a year. For some, maybe I want to say 6 months, but I'd rather say like 10 months. Like the longer before you debut, the better, to really kink out all the stuff. I think you want to send us missiles after a while. Maybe if you guys egg me on. So yeah, it takes quite a while. Because there's so much to learn. You will be shocked at how much there is to learn, actually. How many different components there are. How much you have to condition yourself for it. How to build your body right. Even how to put it all together is also a whole... It's also its own class. Like, oh man, putting things together. Oh man, that takes a while. Just like karate, we need like years of training before competing. Exactly, you know? Exactly. Like, you know, like what I mentioned earlier on in this stream. Even learning how to take a proper bump takes so long to learn. Takes so long. Like for myself, it took me a year and a half before I properly debuted. A year and a half. Confidence should be a big part of this. Sometimes that's the worst thing, actually. Sometimes confidence will send you crashing down. Sometimes quite literally. You think you'd be so sure that you could do this particular move. Nope. Then don't get me wrong. If you know how to throw a roundhouse kick because of your previous karate experience, you can probably throw a roundhouse kick in the ring. But how you apply it properly in a wrestling context, even that takes a little while. A lot of folks get so utterly humbled when they actually finally get a little bit of action in the ring. Like, I cannot tell you how often I see new trainees. They think it's all fun and games until we get them to run. Until we get them to run and not stop running. Like I have seen countless trainees, you know, we'll get them to do like a cardio drill. 3 minutes. 3 minutes straight around the ring. By the end of those 3 minutes, they'll be on the floor gasping for air. All because their cardio is not up to snuff. Takes them forever to learn how to bump. All because this shit ain't easy. You know? It takes so much time. Takes so much time. And how does it make you happy and no fear? I can't admit this question is like fumbling me a little bit. This works so strangely. Go to your nearest wrestling school now. Yeah. So if you want to learn wrestling, that is like the way. That is the way. There is no other way. You go to a wrestling school. If there's no wrestling school near you, find one. And you live in a country with no wrestling at all, and that's starting to become a little bit more of a rarity these days. Even in Southeast Asia. Philippines has wrestling schools. Vietnam has wrestling schools. Singapore has wrestling schools. Malaysia has wrestling schools. Thailand has wrestling schools. Or make one. If you're in a country that doesn't, then sure, you get to take the initiative and make one yourself. And hopefully you get the right guidance for it. Hopefully. How this motivates and make you happy and no fear? Wrestling school? No need since we have Cornelius. I am not a wrestling school. No. I am not a wrestling school. You do not come here to learn wrestling. You come here to gain insight on wrestling. That's two very different things. Okay? You're here to be entertained by my wrestling adjacent rants. This is no pro wrestling academy. No, you cannot pin this on me. No. I will be in so much hot water. The water will be boiling me alive. No. Yeah. So what motivates me to be happy and fearless in wrestling? It's a bit of a bloody addiction, isn't it? It's really as simple as that. This is a bloody addiction. It is a bloody addiction. Simple as that. Now, even with my broken ass body, I'm too deep into this to let go. To the point where like I can almost confidently say that even if I stop wrestling, I'll still be involved in wrestling in some capacity. Hope that answers your question. I guess. All right, next question. This is by Machogo Savage. He himself, he's a fellow wrestling VTuber. Actually, he's a fellow wrestling VTuber. When does heel turn into "we don't like you anymore" heat? I think a great example is Chris Jericho in AEW in his last run. Like, yeah, he is getting heat for his living tree stuff, but people aren't booing for heat. They are booing because they are tired of him. Okay, so I don't know if this term is common or not. This is something that I sort of coined myself, so it's not like it's a proper official thing. But I do know what Macho means by "we don't like you anymore" heat. I like to call it venom. So to those who aren't aware of what heat means, simply means is that you are playing the role of the villain. You are the one that people are not supposed to like. You are the one getting booed. You are the villain of the story, essentially. "We don't like you anymore" heat means that. Okay, so I'm actually gonna take this a step further. It's not even "we don't like you anymore." It's like we don't want to even look at you. We don't want to see you on screen. We don't want you to see you in this promotion at all. There is a term for it, but I like to take this a step further. So there is sort of a term for it. It's called "go away heat." It sounds a little literal. So "go away heat" refers to people booing you not because you're the villain, no, because they actually like they'd rather not see you on screen anymore. They don't even see you live anymore, even. throw popcorns like the Minecraft movie. I wouldn't say that. I think that's a different case. Plus, I've never seen the Minecraft movie before. Don't intend to, so I can't make that. I can't say if that's the proper comparison or not. So go away heat is yeah, when you rather not see him. I'll take it a step further. I call it venom. So there's heat, go away heat, and venom. So what Macho is referring to is almost more like venom actually. Go away heat is where like, yeah, you'd rather not see him anymore, but it's not like you hate him or something. Venom is when you are actually hated. Remember, yeah, I'm coining the term venom, but it's not like a proper term, not even unofficially. It's something that I've sort of seen where there have been cases where a wrestler is, the audience will genuinely leave the arena if they see him. There are some wrestlers that unfortunately, due to some unscrupulous decision making or activities, that has happened. That has happened before. Where they really rather not even see you, where they'd rather you not even wrestle anymore. It's to that point. I don't think Jericho is to that point yet. So in that sense, I do actually kind of disagree a little bit with Macho on this. Yes, I do think that Jericho's shtick with the learning treating is a bit overdrawn for sure. But there's a reason why it's stopped now, hasn't it? There's a reason why it's actually stopped now. I haven't been following AEW too much, but you know, he has actually stopped the learning treating for a while and sort of taken a back seat now. leaving Brian Keith and Big Bill to their own devices. So there's a few different reasons why heel heat becomes go away heat. One is because it's when it's overexposed, when it's the same tired shtick again and again and again, week after week, and yeah, that can run people's patience. When it's terrible, first of all, when like it's something you know, like maybe they did a promo that was terrible, where it's clear that they're not up to snuff. Maybe they're a good bit past the prime. That can turn into go away heat, that's for sure. So all sorts of reasons. Number one, first and foremost, is when it is overdone. When it is overdone. Where it's just where they are overexposed, essentially. You know? Jericho sort of gets away with this. Because he, oh god, before the learning tree there was something, before that there was something else, before that there was something else. The Ocho thing, the Le Champion thing, so many different things. He just when you think it's overdone, he changes it up. When you think he's overdone, he changes it up. So I actually disagree a little bit that it got overexposed, because remember, he actually has stopped the learning tree thing. Big Dog Roman Reigns is probably one of the biggest examples that is. It was just him for years and years and years and years and years. We all know he's a good wrestler. We all know he's actually got a great personality behind the scenes. But yeah, it was kind of, it's when it's shoved down your throats in a very artificial manner. That's another thing. When it feels so artificially shoved down our throats, and when the booking and doesn't feel organic anymore. Yeah, that's when it goes from the villain to actually like causing you problems, you know. Where the news articles are more about the overexposure of this wrestler as opposed to how villainous this wrestler is, you know? all these news articles, no matter how sensational or factual it is, they talk about more about how overdrawn, how overexposed, how the audiences are just tired of them, of that particular character, as opposed to how villainous or how compelling the villainy is. That's when it becomes go away heat. Yeah. Okay, next question. Hope that clarifies things for you a little bit, Macho. Macho's second question. What do you think AEW should do with the Death Riders? Wow, he's very invested in AEW. It honestly started out pretty interesting. It just seems like they are there to mess up every finish. God, I hope they put the belt on Joe in a few weeks. I am assuming this is Samoa Joe. Is this one of those questions where I think I should be careful on? Maybe. Remember, folks, I am an active professional wrestler. There are some questions I'm going to be a little more diplomatic on, so to speak, just because I don't want to end up ruffling feathers to the point where I get in trouble. Samoa Joe Hendry popped up in. Ha! Wouldn't that be funny if that would actually make news, that if Joe Hendry beats Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. Imagine if he became the AEW World Champion whilst holding the TNA World Champion. Now that would send utter shockwaves throughout the industry. Chance of that happening? Low, but not impossible. It's just wrestling. Anything can happen. Is that incredibly spicy? Like I am Geprick. Chili party love so spicy? Absolutely. But I'm pretty sure Marshall here is referring to Samoa Joe, who is one of my guys. A former AEW World Champion, don't forget that. He's also a current AEW Trios Champion as well, if I'm not wrong. But what should AEW do with the Death Riders? I do agree. They're not in go-away heat level yet, but they're unfortunately getting there. And I have to admit, Mr. Hendry will be in every major promotion. He really does appear. He really, really does. Joe Hendry. Damn it, I'm not a major promotion. He's not going to show up in my channel. What are the odds? What are the odds of that? Hey, I tried at least. But man, that's the thing with the Death Riders, isn't it? Their shtick works when there is developments to the plot. Right now, it feels like they are genuinely holding the AEW World Championship hostage. And they have been holding that World Championship hostage for so long. And it feels like there's been no progress to the plot. Why has there been no progress to the plot? Like, what could they do, you know? And I don't know why. I don't know why they can't swerve with it a little bit. I don't know why they can't change up the status quo with the Death Riders a little bit. To those who aren't aware, the Death Riders is a faction led by Jon Moxley. Some of you might know him as Dean Ambrose from WWE. Shocker. And their whole shtick is that they feel like they need to put the grit back into AEW. And one of the ways of doing that is by holding the AEW World Championship hostage. By essentially so Jon Moxley is the AEW World Champion, but he doesn't hold the title up in with pride. No, in fact, he actually keeps it locked away in a suitcase that Marina Shafir holds. So she's like the suitcase holder, so to speak. and they never revealed it. And it hasn't been revealed for, well, I swear it feels like 6 months. If it's not actually 6 months, it feels like it. That's for sure. That's for sure. And I gotta admit, it's starting to be a bit stale. In fact, it's actually starting to feel like the least compelling side to AEW right now. There's a lot of great stuff in the AEW right now. Ricochet is shockingly popping off in AEW. He's actually being very, very watchable right now, showing a lot of character work. Ospreay puts on 5-star bangers, even in the most minor of matches. You know, Young Bucks has been a lot of fun recently. You know, you see a lot of great stuff in AEW for certain. But when it comes to the Death Riders, it feels like they suck out the air a little bit. I hate to say it, but yeah, it should be more compelling. But for it to be compelling, they have to like have some sort of enemy to them that really feels like it's go up against them. And I mean, finally, in some ways, it looks like the Ops is actually going up against them in a big way. I mean, they won the Trios champion from the Death Riders. That's a good start. And Joe did this incredibly fiery promo against John Moxley, which is great. Like that's like if you ever wanted to turn things up immediately, turn that gas stove up to 11, just let Joe cut a promo, and there you go. Good God, he's good at that. Now, as to whether the belt goes on Joe, you can hope, Macho, but I don't know if your wish will come true. I don't know if your wish will come true. Would it be great for Joe to be a 2-time AEW World Champion? Absolutely. Will it happen? Don't know. No. Will it be a good match? God, I hope so. It's John Moxley versus Samoa Joe. It should be a good match. It should. But as to whether if this will be the match that will actually get things rolling with the Death Riders, I don't know. God, I hope so. God, I hope so. I want to watch. It should be available. It should be available. I think AEW can be watched via Triller TV. It should be available on Triller TV. I won't be surprised if AEW is also available on Filipino television, actually, in some capacity. It's definitely not as accessible as WWE. WWE is just straight up on Netflix. No, that's super easy. But AEW's got some fantastic matches. If you want to watch a major wrestling promotion that focuses a little bit more on the wrestling side of things, then AEW is your ticket. Don't get me wrong though. AEW can put on some great promos and character work. They actually got people to care about Ricochet, for God's sakes. Ricochet, who at one point was seen as all flips, no face. He can do a 630 senton, but he can't cut a promo for his life. But now, by virtue of people just smacking his bald ass head, people are actually like tuning in just to see his head get smacked. And it's shockingly great character work. AEW turned Ricochet into a character worker. If you were to tell me, even just a year ago, that Ricochet will be able to do character work, I would have laughed at you. Ha! That guy cutting a promo, making us care for him, making us want to cheer him. What are the chances? And now people want to smack his bald head left and right. And that counts as character work, folks. That really counts. Shocking. Hope that answers your question, Macho. Autumn. How do pro wrestlers actually make money? We don't. do they get paid per appearances or is there a monthly salary from a contract? Haha. So this depends. This depends. Depends greatly on where you are and what company you work with. Okay, let's sell the dream a little bit, folks. Let's sell the dream a little bit. At the very, very tippity top is WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, maybe even TNA. These are major wrestling promotions that are on television that tour around the country that can actually sell out arenas. So this is the tippity top, the top of the echelon. There's a few different ways. So let's say WWE, because there's been a lot of talks about it already. A lot of wrestlers have sort of peeled back the curtain a little bit on this. Essentially, they do get a monthly salary, and they do get a mix. So it's a mixture. It's a mixture, yeah. They do get a sort of a monthly salary, and then it also depends on the percentage ticket sales from the respective event. You know, imagine something as huge as WrestleMania, where it's like 60,000, 70,000, you know, in one stadium. That's a lot in one go, and you can make it, and you can get a decent percentage of the sales from there. Which is why it's actually seen as a really, really big deal for a wrestler to make even an appearance in WrestleMania. So someone like Joe Hendry, you know, the exposure is one thing, but I'm sure he's gotten a pretty decent paycheck from that alone. It's a slightly complex system that I actually can't really explain, but let's just say that that when you are in WWE, even at the developmental level, you can earn pretty decently. Like there was these guys, Mace and Mansoor. They are known as MXM Collection in Ring of Honor. Oh, and welcome Autumn. Welcome Autumn. You came in at a good time indeed. So they were primarily at the developmental level, working out mainly in NXT. Like Mansoor was very open in saying that he made over $1 million, or at least close to $1 million within a couple years. This was in an interview with Maven, if I'm not wrong. And there are many systems that goes on to ensure that even if you're hurt, you still can get a decent amount, and you'll still be relatively covered financial wise. You know, even if you're injured and out of action for a good while, you'll still be protected somewhat, you know. So there's a whole complex system that even Mason Mansour did not fully reveal to the general public. So that's for those in major promotions. How about a step down from that? So we're thinking of, like, let's say, so a step down from that will be something like a large independent company. Do wrestlers need to win matches to get paid decently? No. Remember, this is a show. This is a performance. It's not like, in fact, sometimes the loser of the match can potentially earn a little bit more. Maybe the booker sees that you did a really, really good job losing. There's such a thing as losing, as doing a good job at losing, mind you, and you might get a little extra. You might get a little extra from the promoter as a result. But let's say for a major independent promotion. So when I say major independent, meaning that they are considered a large, well-known independent promotion, but they don't have a TV deal. They're not touring. They're not like generally as well known as like the big leagues. So think something like GCW. Think something like would DDT count? No, DT doesn't count. I would consider them pretty major as well. They're a Japanese wrestling promotion, but they are sort of on like, I think they are on premium Japanese television, if I'm not wrong, like on Samurai TV, something like that. Another great example would be Ring of Honor does not count, by the way. Something like DPW. What else? What counts as a major one? Right now, I guess it is GCW. So where they are big, they can potentially sell like 1,000 packs, 2,000 packs, something like ICW in Scotland is a great example. At one point, they were so big that they sold out the Hydro, which is a small stadium, 7,000, unheard of at the time for a British independent wrestling promotion to get like 7,000, but they did it. So these are big wrestling promotions, but they're ultimately still considered indie. So for that, I mean, it's still gonna be like, that's a big payday. Would that even be enough to be sustainable for a wrestler? That really depends. That really depends. So let's say if you're an independent wrestler that's not part of a major promotion, the way to do that is you have consistent booking. And you need to be in an environment where there is wrestling all around the country, where you can actually legit tour around. Yeah? Tour around. Let's say a great place would be somewhere like Japan, Mexico, the UK to some extent, and of course North America, where even if you're not part of a big wrestling scene, where you're not in Ring of Honor, you're not in AEW, you can legit be a full-time independent wrestler, provided you're able to tour around yourself, wrestle a few times per week. And I can almost guarantee that your payday won't be that great. Maybe it could be all right. It could be all right depending on how big the promotion is. Because not every place is gonna sell out like past 1,000 packs. Some places are gonna sell several hundred seats. But a big factor recently will be merch sales. A few times a week, yeah. How the hell do you think independent wrestlers make a living, if not wrestling a few times a week? So, for example, depending on who you are, obviously every week is going to be different. Maybe some weeks you'll be booked practically as many as 5 times a week. Some weeks you can only be booked once or twice per week, and you gotta travel too. Let's say if you're in North America, if you're wrestling out of Washington, you could be going out of state to wrestle. You gotta travel around. If independent wrestling is your full-time job, you gotta be traveling all around. And then another big factor is merch sales. There's a reason why things like ProWrestlingTees.com is such a big deal. There's a reason why the Young Bucks were kind of seen as revolutionary, because they basically made a living selling their merch. People see their crazy high-flying antics and their crazy nonsense that they do, and they want to buy their stuff. Shirts, bandanas, what else? Badges, whatever. There's a reason why even in Southeast Asia, we have merch tables and we sell stuff. Because sometimes, I'm not saying always, your merch sales could exceed your booking fee. It depends, of course, but sometimes that is the case. That bag could be way, way bigger. Well, some folks, that definitely was the case. Like, I remember Kevin Owens, he did this interview with Chris Van Vliet recently. like he actually said that he was actually perfectly fine if he had never entered WWE, partly because he actually could make a legit living wrestling as an independent wrestler, because partly because he was traveling very consistently, and he was selling his merch pretty darn well, actually. So it's pretty amazing that you could actually earn a living, you know, being a fully independent wrestler. That's so great to hear, you know. That's so great that that's a possibility. But that's not easy. And that can only happen if you come from a place where pro wrestling is a genuinely active, thriving industry. You know, so it really depends on where you are. And let's say in Malaysia, there's only 2 companies. Yeah. I thought doing a weekly show would be rough. 5 shows a week sounds really punishing. You are aware, right? Even for WWE, they sometimes wrestle a few times a week. The schedule is a lot more easier these days. But even these days, even to this day, even someone like Rhea Ripley, MJF, LA Knight, they could be wrestling a few times a week. 5 times a week is not out of the question, even to this day. Hope that answers your question, Autumn. I know I went quite a long while with this, but man, yeah, this whole thing of being paid as a pro wrestler is a little bit of a sore point for us wrestlers. But it's a necessary one for us to understand and, more importantly, come to terms with. All right. Final question from what we see. Hey, Regina. Go man. No, not at all. Awesome. No. You didn't ask anything bad whatsoever. It's just something that you, the layman, the viewer, you don't really think about. You know, it's a very interesting part of the business indeed. How do we monetize this? You know, how do we make a living out of this? You know, how do we actually focus on this thing, make the most out of it? You know. And I'm glad that there's more than one way to do this. You know, you don't have to be a big main player in WWE to earn the decent buck, so to speak. You know, I'm glad for that. How do you guys deal with spontaneous injury, range from bruises to actual bone fractures mid-fight? Do you guys act while doing a secret signal to do something about it? In a way. So it depends on what you are. How to sell wrestling. Popeye and you mean like the fast food franchise? Popeyes? I don't get what you mean. So it depends. Let's say if I get something that will definitely develop a bruise, which has happened. Oh, we power through, baby. We power through. Like when people chop me, my chest lights up so fast. You could definitely see under the bright lights in the theater. You will see my chest get super red. It's hilarious. I power through it. Jelly, it is very, very concerning that you know what that means. Very concerning. What is going on where you're from? I thought you were a good little robot. I'm very concerned now, Jelly, that you know what that means. Hey, I'm a wrestler, so like I know these things. But why do you know this? This is rather concerning. Officer, I have no relations to this Jelly Jams. He is just a viewer. Nothing more. I don't know him. Yeah. Don't catch me in your web of conspiracies. Jelly, how dare you? So Now, so yeah, if it's something like a little cut, a little bruise, hell, if we can feel our eyes swelling, that's part of the job. Still keep on going. Now, if it's something a little more serious, like a rolled ankle, like a concussion, depending of the severity of it, and depending on the bloody stubbornness of the wrestler, it may or may not be stopped. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Has there been matches where it should have been stopped much earlier, but the wrestlers still keep going? 100% so. Yes, without saying too much, I have personally seen matches where it should have gone on longer, but because there's been some pretty severe injury that happened within the match, there will be some communications. I won't reveal too much on it, but let's just say we wrestlers there are ways where we can communicate this. The referee can make the call on this. That's actually a very important factor here. The referee serves a very legitimate role. They can actually make the call. Sometimes if the wrestler is too stubborn, but they can clearly see that, the arm is hanging limp, they can't even put weight at all on their foot, the referee can call it. And or sometimes the referee can facilitate the communication. And then sometimes the wrestlers will, if not to say complete everything, but still do something and then lead to a conclusion that is supposed to be led to. Yeah, that can happen. So what do I mean by that? I mean, like, let's say, for example, the one I'm thinking of, the match was cut short, but they still did the finish. They were still badly hurt, but the match was still it still was completed with the intended finish, just cut short by a huge amount. And then there are some like a really good example right now that I can think of is what happened to JD McDonough. JD McDonough, it was supposed to be a routine tag match, but he did this moonsault, and unfortunately, his opponents caught him in a way where he still flew backwards really hard, and his neck whiplashed hard on the announcer table. Like the announcer table didn't even break. His head snapped back super hard, and you could tell the commentator immediately could tell something was very wrong immediately. And the ref checked on him as well. What did JD McDonough do? Got up and he still wrestled. Like maybe some of the audience members couldn't tell, but but for sure some of the more educated audience members could definitely see something was really up. For sure, I definitely could tell. I definitely could tell. I definitely had the eyes for it for sure. And he still did a moonsault. He still did a top rope moonsault to his opponent. Thankfully, it was from the top rope to the inside of the ring, where things have a little more give. But still, should they have called an audible and cut the match shorter? Yeah, maybe. So sometimes I believe the reason he gave, and JD McDonough gave an interview about this. I think he was like he knew something was wrong, but he could tell he could still kept on going. He could still keep on going. Like he could still like move and stuff. But he thought it was a bit of a stinger, and so he just kept on going. In hindsight, maybe they should have given a call. Didn't some wrestler continue with a broken neck or something? Kurt Angle or Brock? Can't remember. Famously Kurt Angle. Like, he wrestled with a broken neck for a majority of his career. He sustained a broken neck in his amateur wrestling career, actually. Crazy. But that's a different case altogether. That's a sustained injury as opposed to a spontaneous injury. So, without saying too much, yes, there are secret signals to this. Secret signals. And out of necessity too. What we do is extremely dangerous. I'm very thankful that that the referee is there to help facilitate and make sure that we are safe and can continue on or not continue on. I mean, didn't Kurt do comedic sales with the injury at the time? He's joked about it a little bit here and there, but make no mistake, he's been working with a broken neck for a long time, to the point where he's sort of paying the price to this day for it. You know, he put too much into the business. He wrestled far too much for his own good, and he's paying the price for it right now. So yeah, he can make light of it at the time. But man, he really should have been more careful. Ref Ryan #1. Where the hell is Ref Ryan, huh? Where the hell is Ref Ryan? I want to call him #1. I want to call him my #1. But where is he? Where are you, Ref? Huh? Not showing up to my stream. How dare he? How dare he? Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, we've come to that, folks. We've come to that. Okay, let's switch screens now. So yeah, actually no. Before we do that, do you guys have any questions that you want to ask? We've covered a good bit about. Oh, before we get to that, folks, just remember, that we are almost sold out for New Breed 3. So if you're able to catch us on the 10th of May in Quash Theatre in lovely TTI Kuala Lumpur, get your tickets soon, folks, because they are going to be sold out again for the second time very soon. Tickets can be purchased here in myticketempire.com/newbreed3. So we'll be sold out very soon, folks. Come and check me out. Oh yeah, this has been fun, folks. This has been fun. Indeed, giving you guys a little perspective into the world of professional wrestling. Let me put this away. I've been holding it for all night now. My goodness me, how hardworking I am. Alright, folks. If there's nothing else, if you can, folks, please do follow me on all my socials, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all that jazz. If you're able to contribute directly to Cafe Cornelius, you may do so via the stream elements link down below. I'll mention one more thing before I leave here. I am very aware that we have gone past 700 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you. You know, it's not lost upon me, this number. It's not lost upon me. One of the reasons why I've been waiting for a little while before I do something about this, celebrating this massive milestone, is because, well, for a while I wasn't sure if 700 would stick. You know, if we have gone past it. Now that it's 704, I'm confident that we can do something with this for sure. However, not anytime soon, because again, New Breed 3 is next week Saturday. And what's more, my birthday is also coming up, which is on 5th of May. Which is coming Monday. I'll probably only be able to celebrate it the week after New Breed 3. I'll only be able to properly celebrate after New Breed 3. So hope you guys look forward to that. Hope you guys look forward to that indeed. I'll make sure to prepare something real special. Huh. Only in the VTubing world does the VTuber do something for the viewers when it comes to birthdays and milestones, eh? Look how generous I am. In any case, folks, Cornelius is now closing shop. So may Capricornians never close in your heart. Have a lovely night, Mina. Have a lovely night.